The crash was sudden, violent, and cruel. One moment, the Morgan family was singing along to the radio, headed to a weekend track meet. The next, twisted metal and shattered glass littered the road, and the world went dark. Tyler Morgan woke up 3 days later in a sterile hospital room. The light overhead was too bright. His mouth was dry and his chest hurt with every breath. But his first thought wasn't about himself. "Where's Josh?" he whispered. No one answered at first. His mother turned away, tears spilling silently. His father stood still, hands clenched, eyes red. The silence filled the room like a scream. His older brother, Josh, hadn't made it. Josh was everything Tyler wanted to be. Older by 3 years, Josh had the stride of a natural athlete, the courage of a lion, and the heart of a brother who always looked out for him. He had trained for years to become an Olympic sprinter. Every morning, Tyler would wake early to follow his brother's footsteps, literally. He memorized Josh's warm-ups, copied his stride, tried to match his pace around the neighborhood track. Josh used to laugh and call him Shadow. "You'll pass me one day," he'd said once, ruffling Tyler's hair. But not just yet. That day never came. The accident left Tyler with a fractured spine and a severely damaged right leg. When the doctor came in, his words were clinical and final. "You may never walk again, Tyler. Running isn't realistic." Tyler didn't cry. He just turned to the window and stared. All he could see in his mind was Josh running ahead, wind in his hair, smiling as he always did. Gone in an instant. The following weeks were a blur of pain, exhaustion, and silence. Physical therapy was grueling. At first, he couldn't even sit up without assistance. Lifting his leg was like lifting a bag of cement. He went from bed to wheelchair to crutches, but the doctors weren't hopeful about a full recovery. Everyone said he should be proud just to walk again. But Tyler didn't want to walk. He wanted to run, not for himself, but for Josh. One night, lying in bed with a brace around his waist and wires monitoring his vitals, Tyler made a silent promise to his brother. "I'll run again. For you." Nobody heard him, but it was a vow that shaped everything that followed. Tyler began researching Paralympic athletes. He watched videos of amputees running with carbon fiber blades. He read interviews, biographies, medical journals, anything that might give him a path forward. He messaged athletes, emailed foundations, and asked doctors if prosthetics could work for someone like him. "Tyler," one surgeon said, "walking is a miracle for you. You need to manage expectations." But Tyler wasn't interested in managing expectations. He wanted to beat them. By the time he was 15, he was walking with a limp, but refused to use a cane. Kids at school stared, some whispered, a few mocked him, but none of that mattered. He started waking at 5 a.m. to work on balance drills. After school, he did strength training, resistance bands, and flexibility work. He practiced falling and getting back up until it became second nature. His mother was worried. "Honey, you're pushing too hard," she said. "I have to," he replied simply. By 16, he convinced Coach Bennett, a retired local trainer, to take him on. "I don't train charity cases," the coach said on the first meeting. "I'm not one," Tyler replied. "I'm a runner. I just need help remembering how." Coach Bennett saw something in Tyler, something that couldn't be measured with a stopwatch. They started slow. Balance work, muscle reactivation, and short sprints with braces. Tyler fell more than he stood, but every time he went down, he got back up, his eyes fierce and determined. Eventually, Coach Bennett handed him a pair of old, worn running blades. "They're not pretty," he said, "but neither is grit." The first time Tyler strapped them on and ran, really ran, he felt the world tilt beneath him. He stumbled, fell, scraped his elbow. But then he got up and tried again. And again. The sound of his blades hitting the track reminded him of drums, of Josh's heartbeat, of life returning. By 17, Tyler was racing in small local events for athletes with disabilities. He didn't always win, but he always finished. And when he crossed the line, he'd look up at the sky and whisper, "That was for you." People began noticing. Newspapers ran small headlines like "Teen Defies Odds" and "Running Again After Tragedy." But no article could capture what really drove him. At 19, Tyler qualified for the U.S. Paralympic trials. His family was stunned. His mother wept. His father finally took a day off work to watch him run. Tyler didn't feel nervous. He felt ready. When he walked into the stadium for the first time, his heart thundered, not with fear but gratitude. He wasn't just a runner now. He was a symbol. For every kid who was told you can't, he was proof that you could. He made the team. The Tokyo Paralympics were surreal. Tyler stood at the starting line of the 200-meter final, surrounded by the world's best. His competitors were warriors, some with prosthetics, some with missing limbs, some who had fought cancer, others who had survived war. The gun fired, and Tyler surged forward. His blades struck the track like lightning. For the first time, he wasn't thinking about pain or balance or expectations. He was thinking of Josh, of those early mornings, of laughter and competition and the dream they once shared. Tyler didn't just run. He flew. He won gold. As he stood on the podium, tears rolled down his face, not because he had won, but because he had made it. Josh would have been proud. He could feel it. Reporters swarmed him afterward. "What drove you?" they asked. Was it revenge on fate? Was it about proving something? Tyler shook his head and pulled out a small photo from his pocket. It was worn from years of being folded and refolded, a picture of Josh mid-run laughing. "This is my older brother," Tyler said, voice cracking. "He died in a car crash when I was 13. He was the real runner. I did this for him." The press room went quiet. He used to say, "Run like your life depends on it." So I did. Tyler's story went viral, but he never chased fame. He turned his attention to others, to kids who needed hope. He launched the Run Forward Foundation, giving underprivileged and disabled children access to athletic training, prosthetics, and mentorship. He became a speaker, not to boast about medals, but to remind others of their strength. He'd end every talk with a photo of Josh and say, "He ran so I could learn. Now I run so others can believe." Every year on the anniversary of the accident, Tyler returned to the small track in his hometown, the one he and Josh used to train on. He'd run one silent lap. No audience, no cameras, just him and the wind. One year, he brought a new pair of running shoes and left them on the starting block. "For you," he whispered, looking up. "You gave me the dream. I gave it legs." And then he ran. Because when life tries to stop you, you run. For your pain, for your healing, for your purpose, for someone who can't. You run for your life.